Hey everybody, welcome back to Iphone Bloke, the tech tuber where we help quality people to pick up quality product. So in today's video, I've got something very interesting comparison going on, and a lot of people on social media, especially on Twitter, have been indeed talking about nostalgia feeling. People are talking about, would you be able to compare iPhone 4S with iPhone SE first generation? Even though it's not a kind of a concept which is going to go viral, but then of course it's on long demand of my all the beloved Apple iPhone subscribers on this wonderful channel called Iphone Bloke Tech Tuber. I'm making this video. So I want to talk about a comparison between iPhone 4S white versus iPhone SE rose gold edition. If you're interested, let's get started. So we're starting now with two wonderful phones. The first one is Apple iPhone 4S and the second one is Apple iPhone SE Rose Gold Edition. In case before I start my review and overall feel fact about this wonderful phone, do tell me in comment how you feel when you see these two magnificent phones, hand in hand when it comes to looks, productivity and feeling, and if you're able to take back or remember some of its so-called nostalgia, do tell me in the comment and let us know. Okay, so let's start first with Apple iPhone 4S. So Apple iPhone 4S, if I tell you, it all started in 2011. The overall phones built October 14 was the date when it was launched. And overall design, if you see the Apple iPhone 4S design, is beautifully organized, nice glass back, just like iPhone 8. And of course this is the same phone people have taken for build of iPhone 12 and mini and beyond because of the square size and of course kind of a steel attached to it, stainless steel attached to it. So the phone looks still premium with kind of very boxy type size and shape. The buttons are nice tectonic, the feel is still fabulous, and of course they had this a unique old port with the help of charging, so they still gave 3.5 in a speaker and of course a charging port, and of course on top you have 3.5 jack and of course the power button. So if I go with the overall design of iPhone 4S and if I've produced you guys, it is still fantastic. It looks great as well because the overall build of this wonderful phone still is very premium in 2021. So build is fantastic for iPhone 4S, and it's the same build Apple iPhone 12 has copied for the current generation of iPhones. Let's talk about the iPhone SE. Now when iPhone SE was launched, I'm telling you, it was a massive hit. This was the first ever breakthrough iPhone phone for a lot of people in India with a size of 4 inches. I still remember when I was reading a lot of news about iPhone way back in 2016, a lot of people talked about why can't an Apple produce a phone of at least 4 inches, if not 6 inches or 7 inches. And this was a major breakthrough which Apple launched, and this established Apple's mark in the field of 4-inch phone for their beloved iPhone customers. Now this particular design is very, very thin. It still has so-called 5mm jack, you have lightning port, you have very good speakers over here. On top you have the power button, and if you see the overall design and the size of iPhone 4S, even in 2016, I can tell you this is one to die for. Still, a lot of people, those who are YouTubers or tech tubers, those who make videos on Apple iPhones and blah blah blah, they have literally said Apple iPhone SE has indeed beaten the overall design and the feel factor, the way it feels in the hands, even with if you compare with iPhone SE 2020 which got released in October. So this is a beloved design, especially this 5S design based one. So this is a new edition, and the one which really differentiates is the rose gold edition. If you remove this rose gold edition over here, it really looks like a phone which is as good as iPhone 5S. So design of so-called iPhone SE first generation was 4 inches screen, high resolution, of course 430 ppi, sorry, 326 ppi and stuff, and of course the overall mega configuration, which we'll talk a little later. So design is even on this is absolutely fantastic. Let's talk about the battery. Now the battery on iPhone 4S, if I go with the exact configuration, was close to 1500 mAh some change. And in those days, from 2011 to 2015, the first 4 years of my experience, it gave me hardly 4 hours of internet usage, because in those days, if you remember, there wasn't a net as we have right now, so people hardly had a lot of data pack and stuff. But then 4 hours of YouTube watching videos and movies was still very helpful, still useful when it comes to overall battery of this wonderful phone. So battery backup, 4 hours non-stop for internet and call. If you only take calls and stuff, it would last at least 5 to 6 hours easily if you happen to be a mediocre user. The battery of iPhone SE came with much improved rating, almost 1800 some change, close to 800, because Apple generally do not reveal the battery of iPhone 4S altogether. But I'm telling you, this is a much improved battery configuration, because this gave me at least 6 to 7 hours of constant chatting, a phone call, YouTube and other stuff. So on this, close to 1800, a much better job compared to iPhone 4S, because iPhone 4S, if I compare these two devices, it's hardly a difference of 100 or 200 mAh when it comes to battery capacity. But then iPhone SE stands much better with 6 to 7 hours of usage even today, if you know the proper charging and the routine, if you maintain really well. Okay, so that's a bit about overall battery and design. Let's talk about the phone configuration and some of the highlights. Let's begin with iPhone 4S. Now iPhone 4S, if I really hold in my hand, I think it's a very solid feel. I mean, the feel in the hand of iPhone 4S is magnificent. I still remember when I bought this wonderful phone. At that time, it was a very good symbol status, and even today, if I take from a pocket and put it in the market, people still love, because it has a similar design of just like iPhone, the way iPhone has been manufactured and designed, and it's still premium and beautiful, and still people love it for its beloved design and the boxy shape. So when it comes to the overall performance of this particular phone, it has the last update I think I got for this wonderful phone was 3.1 update. That was the last update Apple ever gave to iPhone 4S users, and post to which this phone really become a phone only for phone calls and, let's say, good photography and stuff. But apart from that, nothing else popped up, because this particular phone kind of became somewhat not that practical in use, because you cannot download YouTube, you cannot download WhatsApp, you cannot download most of the apps which has been updated with iPhone 14.s and some changes. So obviously the app management became somewhat tough after the last update of 9.3. So that's one area where I feel performance did lack a bit, but then phone calls receiving capacity is still fantastic on this wonderful phone. When it comes to performance of iPhone SE, with the latest iOS 14.4 version, it is fast as a hair. It does everything. We talk about messaging, tweeting, video making, shooting. This is, I would say, a kind of a pocket dynamite still in 2021, because the phone has unbelievable performance altogether today in 2021 as well. Now let me give you configuration of these two phones. So let's first begin with iPhone 4S. So this was when I bought 4 to 5 years ago. It was close to 16 GB of RAM. It cost me around 24,000, because I bought it with the help of Reliance, and 16 GB variant, 8 GB variant I'm talking about, and the price launch of iPhone 4 at time of launch is close to 44,000 for 16 GB variant. So yes, the configuration is Intel chip, A5 if I'm not A4 if I'm not wrong, and of course the update what I have on this wonderful phone is up to iOS 9.3.6. Past that, the Apple really stopped update for iPhone 4S. So that's the configuration. It has 8 megapixel camera. It has a video recording of 1080 at 30 frame per second, and I can tell you the photography still with 8 megapixel of iPhone 4S is one to die for, even today in daylight conditions, because this phone does a fabulous job in videography, in photography. And I can tell you, this is my second phone when it comes to taking a photo or videos, in case if I do not have enough space, you know, on my phone, still in 2020-21. So photography, camera stability is fantastic, and iPhones have always been around for that. The configuration of iPhone SE first edition, if I go with the overall feel factor, well, this is 32 gigabytes. I paid, when I bought in 2017, close to 20 some change, because the price had dropped. And this is running with latest iOS update. It has 12 megapixel camera. Primarily this phone was launched with all the, you know, let's say iPhone 6s features. So, you know, the same chip, the same battery configuration, the screen size of 4 inches, and of course, you know, this has been a wonderful phone altogether when it comes to performance. The camera and the videography of iPhone Rose Gold Edition in 2021 is mind-boggling. I mean, I've already posted a video with iPhone SE photograph. If you happen to check that one, do check in iPhone playlist. It's beautiful. It can beat any phone in Android today, even the flagship devices. So iPhone battery backup and camera performance, iPhone 4s, and even so-called iPhone SE today is absolutely brilliant. So you would never say that, you know, you've been given a very bad treatment, because these two phones, if I compare and show you literally in person, you know, one is a box, the other one is a very, very sleek design, and of course you happen to have the real plush feel factor with Apple iPhones. So of course this is a plus point. The only thing which I really feel Apple iPhone SE and Apple iPhone 4s has a drawback. With SE first edition, the only drawback I feel is the 5G, whereas Apple 4s, the drawback which I think I still feel is after the update of 9.3.1. I think post that this phone has literally become a phone only for photography, phone and video, and not much of a latest iOS apps and gadgets. But then this one, I can tell you, it's still a pocket dynamite. If you by any chance happen to get iPhone SE today, first edition, let's say by paying 16,000, 15,000, I'm telling you, grab it. This still runs on the latest iOS configuration, all the specs of iPhone 6s, and I'm telling you, it's indeed a wonderful phone to hold in 2021 for two reasons: great camera performance, wonderful clarity, brilliant RAM configuration, and constant update, which has been a true story of Apple since the day they have launched iPhones. So how was the overall feel factor of these two wonderful phones? Do tell me your experience. I hope I was able to give you a little bit of Apple flashback and criteria of Apple iPhones of 4s and so-called iPhone SE. In case if you want all the updated context to Apple iPhones, MacBook, and other tech news, do subscribe Iphone Bloke, the tech tuber where we produce the best quality content on iPhones. Till next time, take care.